In this next installment we will be making the little shoes with the socks, and for addition we're going to add some lace to the top for you. What you will need is your cut out 2 pieces in blue, the bigger ones in white, and then your pieces for your socks. And I've got my 2 pieces of lace here as well. So let's get started with the first step. We will now add our back fabric. And I'm going to use my pieces. I'll just move over here to the iron mat. Put that all into place. There we go. If I want to take off the paper, that would help, eh? Take off the other one before I forget as well. Now for the shoes we're only adding the back at the moment, because we got 2 colors on the front, so that it can show you exactly where to place which part. You will notice that the zigzag just stitched all around. That is just to tack down your back fabric. And I've also used a white fabric now because the socks are white. I don't want the dark blue shining through the white, so I opted to just use a white for the second step. You can stitch the next step as well. Now this is stitched in white because we're busy with the socks, so it might be a little bit difficult to see on screen, but I'll bring it up close. There you can see it stitched that area and this area, so this is where we're going to place our white fabric. Now I've got this very cute, it's like a stretch jersey knit, and you can actually mimic like it looks like a real sock. Having it go the correct direction. So you're just going to take your pieces. I'm going to move again to the ironing mat. And I'm taking my white pieces. These are for a pair of socks. Can be quite confusing. So as you cut your pieces, just mark them and make sure you got the right pieces. So these are for a different pair of socks. And remember to take off your paper. It just takes a few seconds. We've actually cut the fabric pieces with our laser cutter. So on the white fabric, and because it's quite heavy on polyester, you will see it's got little yellow edges, but that won't show it all. We'll do the small section in the front here. So just make sure that you mark all your pieces so that you are sure that you are using the correct pieces on the correct shoes. They look very similar, and you can continue to stitch the next step. Just so you understand, if you did not pre-cut your pieces like we did, and you just use a big piece of fabric, you would place your piece of fabric after that first outline stitch, then stitch your tack down that just stitched, and then just trim around the shape, and then you can carry on to the next. So you don't need to pre-cut your pieces, it's just easier. We'll continue to stitch the next step. The shoe's just outlined, so we know this is our next part. You can continue to stitch the zigzag stitch to tack down that fabric in place. With this step done, like I said previously, if you use the big pieces of fabric, you will now trim your fabric around the edge, but because we use the pre-cuts, we don't need to, so we can just continue with the last step of these little shoes. Before that, I wanted to add the lace. Almost forgot about that. Now this is an elastic lace, I haven't used it before. I'm just going to place it just above the stretchy part. I'm just going to place above the zigzag line there. As I don't want that really on the sock itself, I just like that little frill. Sorry, that was an empty can. So just above, just so we have that pretty little lace part. I think it's going to be so cute. Now the snaps we're going to add later on, we're going to place in that area there, but I will show you when we add the snap, so it will look like a little button on the end of your shoe where your shoe is tied. And stitch the next step. I'm just going to stop the machine there just before it gets to the satin, and I'm just going to trim away this so that I get a neat finish. You can see close up, see I just trimmed around there, and there's my little lace. Put it back. I'm just going to go a few stitches back and continue. And again, stopping it after the underlay stitch down, but you can by all means, when you do the zigzag that goes around, I would prefer that you add your lace during that step. But if you forgot, like I did now, but it's not a train smash, you can see you can always add it later on as well. And if you totally forgot, or you don't like to stop your machine in between, then you can attach it afterwards on your sewing machine. So if I wanted to add a piece of lace here now, I will just take it to my normal sewing machine and attach my piece of lace. This is just to show you how you can do it in the hoop, should you wish to do so. With that done, we can continue with the blue. As you can see, it's complete. A little frills in place, and we're now ready to take it out from the hoop. And you'll trim away all the extra stabilizer. Just going in with the big scissors. And then we'll just cut it out. And there you have your cute little shoes. Now, as these are all done in the same way, I'll just show you quickly. We've got these little shirts. We've got our hairstyles. These little pigtails. There's another hairstyle. And another one. And then we got this little dress part, the skirt with a little belt. And I just used a plastic slider for my buckle. We've got our sneakers, some boots, and I've added some lace again to this top. There you can see the little buttons or snaps that will attach to the feet. We've got bracelets, or these can also be hair accessories. A crown to make a princess. A bit longer shirt, some bows for the hair, and I've just added some normal ribbon before the satin stitch down to get this effect. There's some shorts, another hair bow, and some trousers. So I'm not going to make a tutorial for each and every piece, as they are done very similarly. I'll just show you the templates that you will print. For each of these, you will find a printable template in your files. The first page will show you the center line, so you can align it in your hoop. If you have perhaps a big hoop and you want to stitch several times, you will use this to do your placements in your large hoop. Now, when we look at the different steps of each design, you will see you've got an outline and a zigzag outline and a zigzag. So every time there's an outline, it's a placement stitch. So it will show you where you need to place fabric. After this step, you will place fabric, then stitch that step, your zigzag. After the zigzag, we always trim. Now we've used pre-cut pieces, so we did not have to trim. So we saved that step. So for this example, we've got the white for the back and we tacked it down. Then we have the white for the front and we tacked it down. We've got the blue for the shoes and we tacked it down. So it's very easy, and you will see all of these different designs, the steps are the same. And then this one you can't see because it's actually white. I should have used a different color. You can see there it says white. So that is again just a placement stitch, and then you have your final satin that you will be doing. And this will give you all your colors, so you can see if it repeats like that, it will give odd colors because those are just applique steps. It's not that you need to use a green thread or a blue thread. You use whatever color you have there. So I've used white and I've used my blue because I made the blue shoes. So basically the two colors here, the last two colors, you will just repeat it there. Those are just so that we can force your machine to actually stop. If you've got like a multi-needle, or for your single needles as well, if we had that all one color, the machine would just start and it will just run, and you won't get to add fabric and do the steps as intended. So that is what that is for, if you ever wondered. Up here you can see the total stitches the design has, the height and the width if you ever wondered about that, and then how many colors. The amount of colors in here, like I said, I've already explained that. It's actually 2 colors, but because these repeat and those are applique steps, it will show 4. Now the machine format is just what I'm using. I'm using a Tajima machine at the moment, so that's why it's on that. The color changes are 7, your stops are 8, trims is 26. Now the trims are the amount of times it will cut the thread if your machine has a trimmer. The hoop size that I've just selected for this design is a 300 by 290, but by all means, like I said, you can use a big hoop and just do a few of the pieces in one as well. Your maximum stitch length, your jumps, it will tell you there what it is. And these are just your dimensions where it lays onto your hoop, the area that it will do, and then it will give you the total thread that you will be using and the total bobbin thread you will need. So if you ever wondered how to read this production summary that we give you in the files, mainly sometimes people ask me how much thread it will use. So your total thread on your template will tell you your top thread, and that will tell you your bobbin thread. And if you ever wondered about the size, you will get it right here at the top right. Friends, I hope this was an informative tutorial for you. I will do another tutorial on the body of this little doll, so you can see how the 3 different parts go together, as well as the cover, or what I call the box, with the clear view sheeting that goes on top. So I will show you that in another tutorial, so please stay tuned for part 3 of this dress up doll series. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next installment.